Good morning, and welcome to another segment of My Tea for the Week. Oh, it's your girl, Valerie Locust. And today's subject, honey, don't believe that lie. We all got one. So go ahead and grab that tea. I'll be waiting at the table because you know I got something to say. When we generally think about our past, it usually brings a lot of memories that are filled with sorrowful things, painful or hurtful things, or even things that we wish we just could undo, a lot of regrets. But most of us understand that that's impossible. It would be trying to unring a rung bell. You know you can't do that. But the mind has a way, even though the things are no longer active in our present, the mind has a way of bringing those things from the past into our present. Again, remembering that if it's in the past, it's no longer active, it no longer exists, so it shouldn't be a part of our present. So if we truly believe that, then why do we spend so much of our valuable time trying to defend ourselves or vindicate ourselves when those around us just seems to get pleasure out of bringing our past into our present? I'll tell you why. For many of us, we have yet to learn how to mentally forgive ourselves. That's right, honey. Our minds can be our own number one enemy. That's why it's so important that once we've erred and ask God to forgive us and believe that He has, the very next thing is then to mentally and emotionally forgive yourself. That's right. Understanding that we all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. But sometimes people will honestly forget that. They have no problem reminding you of your past as if they don't have one. No, honey. My mother used to always say, the tea kettle can't talk about the pot because they're both black. In other words, I don't have room to talk about you, and you don't have room to talk about what? Me. So maybe that'll help us all when we start digging up and bringing our people past into their present. And if you're like me, honey, you don't want to be doing that. Because I tell you another thing. When I'm pointing one finger at you about your past, what you did, and all of that stuff, honey, don't you know I got three of them pointing right back at me? Mm-hmm. Girl, I don't think I like that. I'm going to leave that past where it's supposed to be in the past. Matter of fact, I think I need a little tea about it right about now. That helped clear my throat. So we just need to make a pact, y'all, that we ain't going to let nobody hold us hostage to our past. That's right. And look, and another thing, we ain't going to hold ourselves hostage. Yeah, girl, when these yester thoughts, yesteryears, and all that stuff want to just creep back up into your present, honey, just start talking to yourself. Tell your mind, listen, you and all your folk better get up out of here. That's the truth, y'all. Because seriously, if we don't get a handle on our mind with these past past issues and situations and things, listen, I'm telling y'all, we're gonna be fighting battles that's already been forgiven, forgotten, and we won. So keep them doors closed. The doors of your mind, of course. Yeah, because see, if you're like me, my past is full of bloops and blunders, girl, and I refuse to continue to allow my past to keep creeping up into my mind, honey. And not only that, I refuse to allow others to bring that past stuff into my present. Oh no, I ain't doing that, y'all. Because the last time I checked, the word said that whom the Son has set free, Oh, yeah, girl, he's free indeed. Now, whose report are we going to believe? So, what happens if we continually allow our past to creep over into our present? Number one, we really can't live in our present. Why? Because we're constantly going back and forth fighting the ghost of yesteryears. Honey, there's no way you can move forward and backward at the same time. It's impossible. Number two, we'll constantly carry around with us the stigma of shame, guilt, and unforgiveness. And number three, we'll hold ourselves in captivity, in bondage, not understanding that the moment we asked God to forgive us of whatever those things were that we were a part of, those shackles that had our minds bound were destroyed. So let's talk about some things we can do to just simply change that. Number one, come to the conclusion once and for all that your past is just that. It's your past. And don't allow nobody to drag your past into your present. And again, don't you keep fighting these ghosts from yesteryear. Honey, tell them things to go find Casper somewhere and play with him. You have a right to live and be happy in your present. Number two, know that our pasts are just like belly buttons. That's right. Everybody got one. Now, if you're telling me you don't, then I'm going to tell you that we need to find out who stole the real you. Honey, we ain't got time for no kind of counterfeit. Number three, know that our past don't have to have power over us unless we give it. Number four, know that the moment you ask God to forgive you, honey, He heard you, He forgave you. Girl, now let that stuff go. You ain't got time for it, and neither do I. As always, it's been such a pleasure hanging out with you today. Just to say a few things to hopefully encourage you as I encourage myself along the way. And also, I would just like to ask, if you haven't already done so, to just drop me a line and subscribe to my channel. I'll be so glad to hear from you. This is your girl, Valerie Locust. Thanks for tuning in. Listen, please stay safe. And until next time, as always, cheers to the new and improved you.